that we are the American Indians. Copper color Indians, baby. A real Indian, American Indian is me, not from Africa. Remember that.
White people are scared to death right now, particularly white males. They're scared to death that they are going to lose their power in the future. And they are. But if you want to get ready for the future, if you want to be treated well in the future, treat others well in the present.
African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But now the brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations, New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago, even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space.
And we are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African, baby? I'm not no African. Look at you.
Long live yeah. These are my memoirs. Light up a cigar, smoke up the memories as I sit and dust them off. Why do people say it's just to piss you off? Ignore them, no call button and then dress too par. Now they can't test the gods, had to defy the odds. It only get tougher back then, we thought times was hard. Told them don't write me off, told them don't type at all. To all the ones that gave up, this a reply to y'all. That wavy haired kid that you knew, been on a tear since. The cries was lower than the laughter now that I'm hearing. The praise for staying committed to something they played with. It was always about us, it's never about who's your favorite. Took my insecurities and made my future more secure. The way we moving, it's like we really been here before. The proof is in the progress from the year before. Furthermore, we wanted to further things more. They took another route, so what you think we kings for? No angel ever said, yo, who these wings for? Ain't no champion ever said, who these rings for? So don't question what God doing, who you live for. Start accepting who you are and what you do it for. Doing less, doing more, it's really either or. Meet them halfway when one close, here go another door. Here go your dreams, what you running for? Head full of steam, cause you want it, huh? But it's in your genes, you was born a star.
Yeah, damn, we done came far. The blessings soon pay off. I don't get a day off. Feel like the playoffs, they like, when y'all gon' take off? Dale got laid off, now we focused on trademarks. We just making hits after hits, no aid off. Now they wanna eat off the same plate that I ate off. They really be brainwashed, I sold ain't for trade-offs. Listen to these verses, these are thoughts that I brainstorm. People do me wrong, but nowadays I just pray for them. I've been under pressure, you can't tell cause I stay calm. Hiding peace and quiet, all I hear is the rain falls. Now all I see is green like my name was Draymond. ISO the brand and you know we gon' rain on. Shout out to the fans from the jump that stayed on. Rolling every hour of the day till the pain gone. Now every time we drop, yeah, they know that is napalms.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far where I come from.
I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping. Stacking them Franklins, them Grants and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion. We probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering, I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even now my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart.
Hey, all right, y'all. Hey now, what's good? Yo, smash the like button. We got to get more than 21 people up in here for this today. We do. We got to get more than 21 people up in here today, y'all, for this bomb drop. Y'all got to like and share. Seriously, we have to get more than 20 people up in this piece today, because it's time. When I come on, I'm just going to keep dropping bombs. I am. I mean, I've been holding it in for too long. Too long. I mean, I'm not giving all my cookies away, but it's time to keep dropping bombs, because these fools gonna learn. They gonna learn. Hey, George, S. Ponchess, Bronx Flat Power. Hi, Stephanie. Hey, Big Dog, and all the shy people watching. I know y'all shy, but if y'all could just please hit the like button, because yep, I got my grannies on today, my granny outfit. I have to put on my granny outfit. Hey, y'all, when I say that I'm going to continue to open your eyes so you can see shit for what it really is, I'm not, I'm like, we don't have to debate with Pan-Africans. We don't. We don't have to debate with anybody that's pumping the fist and rocking the dashiki, because all they have is their pseudo DNA test. But we got receipts. That's why I mean, I watched Ali Muhammad's segment. It was really good. And they had an awesome build. There was no arguments or nothing. And I'm so glad that he didn't let them deadheads on his panel. It was just brothers building. And 111 Truth went in. He went the fuck in. And I'm so proud of them, because it was a build that needed to take place. Hey, Kai, smash the like button, y'all. It was a build that needed to take place. Brothers together. And I don't need to be up on no panels when brothers is in the midst of building like that, because that's so healthy for our community. Whether you're a Moor, whether it don't matter what damn religion you're in, whether you're a Moor, Hebrew, Christian, brothers coming together. And that's why I stayed back and watched, because I was so proud. Didn't no woman need to be up on that panel. Not when the healing needs to be done with our warriors, our brothers. So today's segment, man, y'all got to get ready for this. You got to clear your head. You get your smoke on, your drink on, but you got to clear your head. All right? And I'm going to get into it. Now, y'all know, prior to 1830, which is the Indian Removal Act, right? And I need you to stay with me. I ain't letting nobody on this panel yet. Nope. Because I don't want to break the focus. So smash the like button. We got 26 in here, and I'm trying to wait to start so that at least 30 or 40 people are in here so I don't have to repeat myself. Could y'all give me a 1 if I can play one more song just to wait for people to get up in here? Because I need y'all to share and I need y'all to hit the like. Seriously, I do. Or should I just keep it moving and go and say to hell with it? Should I just keep it going? Thanks, T. Cortez. Give me a 1 if I should just don't wait for nobody and keep it going? Or should I play one more song and give people a chance to come up in here? Give me a 1 if I should just keep it moving, or give me fire if I should play one more song to give people a chance to get their asses in here. Come on, y'all. Let me know. I don't see no ones or no fire. Come on. 1 means keep it going. Fire means wait for the Indians to get up in here. One. Quezzy said keep it going. Kai said they'll join in. Okay. That's 2 people out of 27. What say y'all? All right, so I keep going. Fuck it. I ain't got time. I know I'm not everybody's favorite, but I'm still going to drop what I drop, because what I drop is important and it's for you. You need to know. You need to know. Because there's too many agents in here trying to keep you consoled to Africa. I'm telling you, our ancestors did not come from Africa. They are the Indians of this soil. Now, y'all know 1830, before the Indian Removal Act, before the Indian Removal Act, there was a reason for that. And it's not everything you've been taught and everything you think. You need to open your eyes. Before 1830, we had the War of 1812. And does everybody know why that War of 1812 took place? It's because the British came in to attack the American troops, because the American troops went and attacked Canada and burnt down government buildings. Straight like that. So the British came up in here, right? And set Washington on fire. They set a lot of multiple government and military buildings on fire, including the president's mansion and the United States Capitol. They did that shit because because United States went up there and burnt their shit down first. Facts. That's some facts. Now, that was in 1814 when that happened. When, the War of 1812, and in the middle of it, the Brits came down here and burnt their shit up. They said, fuck that. So now, during the 1800s, the Indians Man, y'all got to be ready for this. For real, for real. You got to understand this. The Indians already had slaves before the colonizers even came here. Give me a 1 if you know that. There were already slaves here. Enslaved. They were Indians. Indians enslaved Indians. Give me a 1 if you clearly know that. You got to know that first. Good. The Indians, right? When they was warring, the Indians had thousands of slaves. You need to know that. That's very, very important, because prior to colonization, before they even came here, Indians was warring with Indians, and they would conquer other Indians and then enslave them. And they were shipping them around in the islands, all over the place. They were shipping them and selling them. Selling them. Listen to me. Our ancestors sold us here to the colonizers. A lot of us. That's how white people got slaves. They bought them from the Indians. They traded. The Indians, listen to me. The Indians only traded with the Europeans for guns, weapons, and shit. Understand that. The Indians of this soil only traded with Europeans. They already had thousands of slaves. And I say thousands. A lot of it was our own families. Indians sold slaves to white Europeans here. Indians did not do business with Alkebulan, Africa. I'm going to show y'all something that's going to fuck y'all up. That was the lifestyle of the South. Agricultural lifestyle. Indians was running this shit. Now let's take a look. Don't talk about no damn slave ships with me. Don't play with me. There was already thousands and thousands of slaves here. Slave is employment. Working on our own lands before the colonizers even came. Some even against our wills. It was us fighting Indians, our relatives. That's why there were so many runaway slaves. We were running away from Indians for the most part. Our peeps. Why would we run away if we didn't know where the fuck we was going? You got to know where you're going if you're running away, right? Now, I'm going to break this shit down, and I want y'all to see it. Smash the like button. Let's go, y'all. I'm going to show you. See, you got to see this shit. Nobody can't tell you. You got to see shit for what it is and how they fuck shit up. Let's go. Let's read this first. The Confederate States of America. These are states now, when they were states. Commonly referred to as the Confederate States. The Confederacy, or the South, was an unrecognized breakaway republic in the southern United States that existed from February 1861 to May 1865. The Confederacy comprised 11 U.S. states that declared secession and warred against the United States during the Civil War. The states were South Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Virginia, Arkansas, Tennessee, and North Carolina. The Confederacy was formed in 1861 by 11 states, all by 7 states, 7 slave states: South Kakalaki, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas. All 7 states were in the deep South region of the United States, whose economy was heavily dependent on agriculture, especially cotton, and a plantation system that relied on enslaved, listen y'all, enslaved Americans of African descent. Now, y'all know damn well there was no, first of all, this shit is funny. Enslaved Americans. Now, we know the Americans are the aboriginals to this land for labor, convinced that white supremacy and slavery were threatened by the November 1860 election of Republican Abraham Lincoln to the U.S. presidency on a platform that opposed the expansion of slavery into the Western territories. The 7 slave states ceded from the United States, with the loyal states becoming known as the Union during the ensuing American Civil War. In the cornerstone speech, Confederate Vice President Democrat Alexander Stephens described its ideology as centrally based on the great truth that the Negro, now they Negroes, is not equal to the white man, that slavery, subordination to the superior race, is the natural and normal condition. Before Lincoln took office on March 1861, a provisional Confederate government was established. February 8, 1861. This is 30 years after. 30 years after the Indian Removal Act. It was considered illegal by the United States government, and Northerners thought of the Confederates as traitors. After war began in April, 4 slave states of the Upper South, Virginia, Arkansas, Tennessee, and North Carolina, also joined the Confederacy. Now, hold up. Hold up now. All right, are we ready for this shit? Now, before all this shit took place, before 1860, before 1830, there were already slaves in the southern states by the Indians. And I'm going to show you. They're not going to play with me. All right, here we go. These, before there was even any states, real good. You see these areas in the South? There's the main tribes, although there were more. But these are the areas they occupied. Look at the southern states. Look at it. Just look at that. Look at the states. Look at the states, y'all. All the slave, all the Confederate states. This is before. Don't even think about Indian removal at this point right now. Look at the states. Look at the tribe and the states underneath them. Look at them. Don't even think about them even being states yet. I just put this here so you can see the areas they occupied even before the colonizers came here. Look at it. This is before these was even states. Now, this is before these mush faces even came here, the Europeans. These are their areas where they had slaves. Listen good. Didn't know goddamn colonizers. They wasn't here. Colonizers wasn't even here. This is how it was going down before they even came here. Now, y'all see that, right? You see all the states. Now, when they did come, look at the colonial states that they came to. Look at the years. They wasn't even in the fucking South. Let's go. Don't even play with me. Fire, please. They were not in the South. And when they did get in the South, they only had Charleston and Roanoke and Albemarle. Keep looking at it. Look at it real good. Now let's go back to this baby. Now, let's say the colonial people are here now. And in the South, the whole time, nothing but Indians running this shit. I'm talking from the time, even before the time they arrived. These are the areas in the southern states that the Indians ran. Niggas. We had the slaves. Now, we still in the 1600s and 1700s. Then we get to the 1800s, evenly. Indians still running the South, all the Confederate states. They wasn't even states. They started becoming states. When? Let's get that. Let's get it over here. Let's take this down. Then shit started getting funky. Where these fucking Indian chiefs and Indians, their lifestyle is driving our families crazy. And then what happened? Here we go. 1700s. Throw up some fire if you understand this shit. These are the northern states. We don't want them. We want to start right here with Vermont, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio. Here come all the southern states in the 1800s. You see them? Southern states, baby. All the way down. That's when they started becoming states, because the Indians, let's go. Let me put that over here. Now, let's watch. Keep that up. This is us running shit in the South. Still, until War of 1812 kicks in. Our people are tired of our Indian ancestors shit. Now, you're getting ready to see this. This is what you're getting ready to see. Look here, family. Look here, family. Motherfuckers got tired. Put it up. Our people got tired. Tired, man. They was through by 1812, 1814. Our people got tired of being under our Indian, Aboriginal ancestors. Now it was more than these five. Now we in 1814. A War of 1812. Then we get to 1830 because our people are fed up. $1830s here now. Take your asses to Oklahoma. Those Indians that wanted to go with mommy and daddy to Oklahoma, they left and went. The majority stayed. Those Indians and their slaves that they had, they didn't get it. Did you hear of a story of Indians getting slaves from Africa? Did Indians do business with Africa at all? No. They didn't trade slaves. Indians didn't trade slaves with Africa. That's who was running the South. I just showed you. I'm going to show you this again. This is who was running all the Confederate states. Because they was doing their own shit down in the north. Ain't got shit to do with down south. Just Charleston and Roanoke. That was it. Now, I'm going to show you why. Listen, y'all. Here we go. Now, once we pushed the Indians off, and they took all their slaves with them, those that wanted to go. Those that wanted to go left. There was nobody else running the South, the Confederate States, but the Indians. It was their area. Those that stayed, still all the Confederate States, Alabama, look at the column number 3. Total number of slaves. 435,000, 111,000. Come on, down the list. Look at it, y'all. 3,521,110. That did not go to Oklahoma in 1830. These are approximates. Now, you see what it says? The population numbers exclude non-assimilated Indian tribes. The rest of them stay in the South. The North ain't have shit to do what was going on in the South. I'm not playing with these people. Y'all see this shit, right? Look at it now. This is in 1860. This is why you see in the South so many families owning their own slaves, their own people. Because the North came and they pushed their ass to Oklahoma. Said, get the fuck out of here. And we helped push their ass. Get your ass out of here. We're going to run our own families. We tired of y'all. And the Indians was their family. The Indians that wanted to go left. The ones that stayed, stayed. This is 30 years after we pushed them to Oklahoma. Those of us that slayed, that stayed, we stayed. Having our own homes. This is why on the slave schedules, you see the black head of household, who is the owner, and the list of all his slaves. Give me a goddamn what? So I know you understand this. This ain't got shit to do with the North. This is why I'm telling you, this is why when you see the slave schedules and the black owners of them being head of their houses, these are the assimilated head of their own households. All of them stayed. The majority stayed and did not go to Oklahoma. And what they did was let them live the agricultural home farmland style after they kicked the system that they were under when the Indian tribes was overseeing us. This is how we end up staying and being on our own shit without them Indian chiefs telling us what the fuck to do. No, honey. Listen, old dog. The South, and this is what they don't tell you. The South, the smokers, was nothing but Indians. The Cherokee, Chickasaw. I just put the 5 main ones up there. It had nothing to do with the North. It was all under Indian control. Because this is why I show you this. Look, it's going to make sense. You got to keep looking at it until it makes sense to you. Look at this. Don't look at these areas as states yet. That's what's going to help you. This is before they were even states. Some of them have the original name, Tennessee. Okay? Look at this as though this is the South without no United States. First, look at it that way. Even though you see state names, I'm just showing you their areas that they occupied in the South. Take away the names, and that's the areas that they maintained. And they had their own slaves, and they didn't get them from Africa. They were already here. It was us. It was us. It was our lifestyle. This is before they even came. And then our people got tired of dealing with our own people, our own Indian chiefs. We fucking had it as a people. And we joined with the North to push their fucking asses to Oklahoma. Those that wanted to go left. Because if not, we'd have killed their asses. Us along with the Northern states, which is the Union. We told our own ancestors, I ain't fucking working under your conditions no more. I'm not bothering with you no more. Get the fuck out and go to Oklahoma. We did that in harmony with the North. Please let me know you understand this. I got to make sure you understand this. Ducking Skittles, you got to stop cussing in my chat because it picks up algorithms. Okay? Appreciate it. Thank you. Give me a 1 so the Europeans didn't win the war and kick the Native Americans. No. What you're not understanding, hon, is we in the South, the majority of us Indians, we no longer wanted to live the lifestyle under our Indian chiefs in the South. Okay? And we got together with the North in 1830 and said, get the fuck out of here. I'm no longer working under your conditions. Go to Oklahoma. That was the only way we could get our chiefs to leave and go to Oklahoma. The North needed the majority of the Negroes, us Indians on their side to get their ass out of here so that we could later do Reconstruction. The only people that was running the South was the Indians. Those were all their areas. And Indians were the ones who had the slaves. Put the white man aside for a minute. Indians had slaves before the Europeans even came here. All right. You're being a distraction right now, young lady, all right? Now, I normally don't say anything to you, but I don't throw my show off. I just asked you as humbly asking you, okay? I'm humbly asking you. I'm not being nasty with you, all right? So let's just leave it like that, all right? I'm humbly asking you. All right. Now, I think I'm going to ask Isness to hit the panel so I can dialogue with her so you guys can understand. Because I got to keep showing you this until you get it. You actually get it. So Isness, as the only one, Ali Buman, do not hit the link. Isness. Hey, root word. Hit the link, root word. No, not root word. I'm sorry. Isness. I'm sorry. Isness, hit the link, love. Because we're going to articulate this for our people. We have 80 people watching. Share the live. I want them to see, because we're going to read some more shit. I want you to see shit for what it is. Oh, when I tell you that this shit is real, this is real, very real. Okay? Take away the fact that these are states. Don't look at them as states. But I list them as states so you could see the areas that we controlled in the South. Those are all the Confederate states. The only things left out, I think, is Texas, but I'm just doing the South. Period. Point blank. Take away the fact that these are even states now. Indians occupied the entire South and West, and they had slaves and did no business. They had thousands of slaves, and they did no business with African trade. The only trade that the Indians did is with the Europeans for guns and all kinds of shit. Furs. Hey, lady, you see this shit? Right? All right. Let's roll. The white man had nothing to do with the South. This is the white British European areas. They was all north until later when we gave them a little piece of land in North Carolina and South Carolina, which is Charlestown. I forgot to put that in there. Do you see any southern states for the British?
No.
All right. So if there's no southern states for the British, who and slavery was going on in the South, who do you think had the slaves? If white man is not in the South running shit, who were the slave people in the South?
It was us. It was us. We were in the
Boom.
South.
You see it. Because I just showed you, white man didn't have nothing in the South. It's all niggas, including our chiefs. These are the areas. Now, take away the fact that they're even states now. They were even states. Just the area is what was owned by these particular tribes. And we already had slaves. Don't even think about the North right now. Now, all us Negro Indians, wild Indians in the South, us, our ancestors, got sick of this kind of lifestyle and conditions under our nigger chiefs. And got together with the North.
The United States.
There you go. And said, take your asses to Oklahoma. Because the only way the North could win, they needed the majority of the Indians on their side to pull off, take your ass to Oklahoma. You don't want no smoke with the 3 million Indians that you will lose a war with, along with the colonial people and all the Indians from the North. So you best just take your ass to Oklahoma. Take those with you that's going to go. Those that stay will become citizens or subjects of the states to wherever they're at. Now, do you understand the language? Remember I read it?
Yes.
I want to make sure the audience understand this because I can't move forward. I can't move forward until I see that now the audience get it. We
And
Indians was running the South.
I can attest that I have an Arkansas family member from this period of time, and it said on his property, on his acres, that he had
Oh God, I don't
265
understand.
households.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you. Oh, go ahead, honey. I'm sorry.
Oh no! I'm listening.
Oh, dog, I don't understand why you don't understand. Maybe you want to articulate it a little bit to him. The North, okay, let me put it to a black and white thing, because we got to break things down the way our people understand it. Okay, these are the white people. Let's just put that out there. Even in these states, northern states, they didn't have anything in the South. The only piece of land they had in the South was North Carolina, little piece of it in Roanoke and Albemarle. And South Carolina, they had Charlestown. All right. These colonizers had nothing to do with the way the South was running, because the South was run only by the Indians.
That was Indian territory.
Correct. All the southern states from the South, the Indians from the South, these were their areas, their territories, where they had slaves. And these slaves were always in the family, always in the tribe. It was the lifestyle and custom of our ancestors. We were slaves to our own people.
Mm-hmm. And like you said earlier, it was more
Now,
like a form of employment.
correct. Now listen, old dog. In 1830, the Indians got tired of living the lifestyle and wanted change. So they got together with the white people and the Northern Indians, the Iroquois Confederacy, may I say. They got together, all those millions, here we go, millions of Indians got together with the Indians of the North and the white colonizers and said, get your ass out and go to Oklahoma. The majority of the Indians from the South said, bon voyage, we want shit to change. Go to Oklahoma. So there you have the Indian Removal Act. That was us, the majority of us in the South, along with the North, telling our own ancestors, our cousins, our uncles, our aunts, our moms, our dads, our distant relatives. We're tired of living this way. We want to change. The living conditions are horrible. Go to Oklahoma if you don't like the fact that we're going to come together with the Northern Indians and colonizers and reconstruct every fucking thing. That's what we did. Now do you understand it? Because that was all that was in the South. And if you don't understand it, huh?
It looks like there was an incentive to partner with the United States or with the northern colonies, right? So they were given provisions. You know, in the letter that you read, it was talking about the provisions given. So there was an incentive for people to move on up to the north and partner with them.
Correct. And a lot of them didn't move. So when they did the Reconstruction, those Indians that didn't want to go to Oklahoma in the South, they said, you become citizens or subjects in the state you stay in. All right? There was nobody running the South but the Indians. That's it. No white people was running the South. Now, there was white people that lived there, but they were not running shit. The Indians were. But then we Negroes, we got tired. We are the Negro Indians of these tribes. We got tired of that lifestyle. They wanted to do things different. So all of those that didn't like the fact that shit was going to change and be reconstructed, we sent them to Oklahoma. Now, that was in 1830. Now, a lot of the Indians that didn't want to go to Oklahoma, that's when the Civil War came in. You either gonna change or we going to war. And that was still us deep in the South fighting against each other to get to win, to make things change. to make it official, it had to be a civil war because a lot of our Indians was not going to Oklahoma. Say, I ain't going to fucking Oklahoma. Some already went, and a lot of them that stayed. And then there you had Indians in the north. Some of them fought on the side of the Confederacy. Even the Indian tribes fought on the side of the Confederacy. They wanted to keep shit going, even though their ass was pushed to Oklahoma. But they was down with the Confederacy. No, we want to keep it the same. They pushed us out here to Oklahoma, and they lost the war. They lost the Civil War. So they had to end up staying any damn way. So I want one of the biggest things that I want to get you to understand is that our Indian ancestors that occupied those areas during the time these so-called 1619 slave ships came here. No, that's why it couldn't have possibly happened, because we already had slaves all throughout the South as Indians. That is this is where you know for a fact that it's a made up fucking story about bringing slaves here. Look at this shit. Bringing slaves here. And we're already occupying all these areas in the South with our own people being slaves. So at what point did 1619 come up and bring Africans in our southern states? Because the Indians didn't do no business with Africa. Go ahead, sis.
So when you're referring to Oklahoma, you're saying that Oklahoma was still aligned with the Confederate States, with the Indian territories down there?
Yeah,
It's
because
just that
when they went there, right, to 1830, is when Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, and Seminole eventually went to Oklahoma, because they was going to lose if they did, because they had their own people, which was the predominant South, that was not trying to continue living the way they was living under their system, their own system. So they got with the North, which quadrupled it. They got with the Northern Indians, including the colonizers, and said, take your asses that don't want change to Oklahoma. It was us fighting against us. Niggas fighting against niggas. We didn't even really need the help of the colonizers, because we had the Northern nigger Indians. And we got their asses to go to Oklahoma in 1830. Prior to 1830, they were the South of all these lands, where they had their own slaves, our own people. It was our customary way of life to work on our lands freely. And then we got tired of living like that, working all those hours, 12-hour shifts in the sun. We wanted to change because we were highly influenced by the Northerners. Can you see it now?
I can see it. I got it.
I just want to make sure everybody got this. There was nobody running the South but the Indians. And the Indians in the South did not do trade with Africa. Not the Indians in the South. We did trade with the white Europeans, or the Europeans in the North, with guns and shit. And you don't believe me? Look up the type of trade that the Indians did with the Europeans. whether they were black or white. I don't give a fuck. European. The type of things they traded with the Europeans. They didn't trade no Africans with the Europeans. They was loaded. We were loaded in the South with our own people as slaves because it was our lifestyle. We was accustomed to it. The North had no cause, no pull on how the South was running. So we niggas told our aunties, our uncles, our cousins, our nanas to get to stepping and go to Oklahoma. And we had the backup of the Northern Indians and colonizers. So they left on a sad trail and went to Oklahoma. And we're going to go through that. I got to make sure the audience understands this. Can y'all give me a 1 if y'all clearly understand how this went down and how there couldn't have possibly been no 1619 bullshit slave trade? It's a lie. It was not good because I want to move on. So you said you see, sweetheart. Can you, I want you, Isness, to explain it to me how I explained it to you. I want you to articulate it how I explained it to you, because I want to make sure that the next person that watched this video gets it. Go ahead. You got the mic.
Okay, so what you're explaining is that the northern states were basically the beginning of the United States. The southern state, the southern area, were the territories, and that was still all Indian territories run and occupied by Indians. And they had slaves, which were their family members, and basically that's how the economy worked, right? Everybody worked together, and you worked on basically your family farm, and that was basically your version of slavery. But but some people decided they didn't want to live that way, and they went up into Oklahoma to have more of a city life. Am I correct?
They were pushed to Oklahoma and
They
deemed
pushed
that
them,
Indian territory, the
and
only
they deemed that
Indian
area.
territory.
Yes.
They gave
And
them,
so,
yeah,
okay,
keep
go ahead.
going.
I'm
I'm
listening.
listening.
Okay. And so once they got up in, at some point the northern states decided that they didn't want the southern states to continue behaving in the way that they originally behaved, and they went to war against, or basically to incorporate the southern states into their fold of the United States. Am I correct? Is that what you said?
So no, you got it right. What happened was those that stayed and didn't go to Oklahoma wanted to continue the agricultural lifestyle via slavery, holding their own people as slaves, period, point blank. And those and did not want to go to Oklahoma. So even those that stayed, that still wanted to keep the slave-like lifestyle in the South, the northern states, the remainder, the majority that wanted them to go to Oklahoma, so that they could make change in the South, change the whole system and the way it operates, got together with the Northern Indians and colonizers. And that became the Civil War to make it official. And they lost the war, even those that still stayed after they lost the war. They stayed, but acknowledged that they lost the war and it was time for change. And I pulled up the document of the Negro Convention in South Carolina for those Indians that wanted to stay. I already read this. And they gave the report and said, we lost the war. It's over. Now we have to make change. Do you remember when I did that?
I missed that part.
All right. It was the meeting, the convention they had in South Carolina. And they said the war is over. Things are going to change. We lost it. But it's got to change now. Things are going to change now. I'll bring that document up at a later time again. It was when all the Negroes met in a convention in South Carolina. But anyway, the Northern Indians, including the colonizers, joined together in union with those Southerners that wanted to change shit. That became the Reconstruction period, right after the Civil War. It was over. That was the North and South, pushing the Indians out and getting them to bow down to the new change. That's what that was all about. Understanding and showing you this. Please, this is why I said, get off the white man's ass. This was us Indians fighting to keep slavery. And then there was the majority of us Indians that said, oh, hell no, I don't want it no more. I want it over with. You want to keep your slavery going, take your shit and go to Oklahoma. And that's the only fucking Indian land you're going to have is Oklahoma. And it would take only Indian niggas to tell their parents, this is the only fucking Indian land you're going to have. It's going to be Oklahoma. You want to keep your slave shit up, take it to Oklahoma. And that's the only place you're going to be. It take a nigga to do that to a nigga. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough colonizers here to give that kind of fucking order and power over Negroes, Indians, over the Indians. Now, I think people should have it.
Okay. I had it backwards. So basically you're saying...
Go ahead and say it again from the beginning, because I want to make sure you got it, boo. Because then you're going to see. She's right. I'm going to show you. Go ahead.
Okay. So the Northern Territories were occupied by the Europeans. The southern area was occupied by the Indians. In the southern area, that is where the culture of what we call slavery existed. Some Indians decided that this was not appropriate. You know, it's not fair for everybody type of thing. And so they partnered with, you said, the Northern Indians and the Northern Europeans. And after the Civil War, after they lost, they said, well, if you want to continue this way of life, you have this area over here called Oklahoma. And if you want to do it, go over there. But now the new system is we can't live this way any longer with slavery. Am I right?
That's facts. That's facts. Under here, there were no white colonizers running the Confederate States. Now that you see that, let's go. Now, They wanted to pull this shit. In the South, prior to that, now y'all know when all the states agreed. They went and did this shit after. They tried to pull this shit. All this Indian Removal Act shit had to take place because the Indians reneged on coming together as states. They reneged and they wanted to succeed. Secession. It's the formal withdrawal of a group from a political entity. The process begins once a group proclaims an act of succession. A succession attempt might be violent or peaceful, but the goal is the creation of a new state or entity independent of the group or territory from which it ceded. So, prior to the Indian Removal Act and shit, they set up a confederacy in the South. They set up their own shit after they fucking agreed to be states, and it was against the law to do that. It was against the law. They wanted to pull back out, and that's when that war came. That's when you had all the shit they wanted to cede from the Union. That's niggas. That's us. That's why we get that famous name, Indian givers and shit. They wanted to succeed, get out of the Union. And that didn't help. That whole thing caused the war. And it became official. They lost the war. There's states that's still trying to get out of the Union or the agreement of the United States. I think it was it Florida, and there was another state that wanted to secede from the Union. Was it California? Can't remember. I can't remember, but they still trying to this day. But we was running the South. Now, what the eye that I really wanted the audience to catch was the fact that in the South, they never tell you this. You just got to look. In all the southern states, before they were even states, there were slaves. We were slaves under our own tribal governments. And that's a fact. And we had a citizenship. Indians didn't do business with Africa. They made up a whole fucking story. You already got Negro Indians here as slaves for the Indians. That was the heavy slavery. So why are you going to bring 12 million fucking slaves from Africa when you did not? We were already slaving in the South. That was the lifestyle of the South, of the Indian. No 1619 slavery was needed in the South. We were the Indians enslaved in the South by Indians.
That the majority of the Europeans lived in the north.
That's it.
But we also know that slavery was in the south. So common sense tells you that we were enslaving each other because they were in the north.
Correct. And you get a bomb drop for that, for understanding. I'm gonna kill your 1619 nigga slave trade. You ain't got one. We was already through the South being slaves for our own ancestors. The North had nothing to do with how the South was running. We contact them. Now, I'm going to read the case of our own ancestors. We, aka employment, we lived the agricultural lifestyle under our own Indian chiefs, our families. And you're mad you can't make this shit up. Can't make it up. Who occupied these areas in the South? It's showing you. Look it up. What areas? Cherokee occupied, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, and Seminole. Before all this shit even took place, these were our areas all the way up until 1830 when we sent their ass to Oklahoma, our own parents. Prove to me Indians did business with Africa getting slaves. We sold our own slaves. Indians enslaved Indians. There's no history of Cherokees, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, and Seminole doing slavery business with Africa. Get your ass out of here. I know it hurts. I know it hurts.
Even when you hear the stories, they tell you it's a runaway slave that they were doing business with. They don't even the story that we know, they don't tell you nothing about Africa. They said they enslaved runaways or something like that, but they don't tell you anything about Africa.
Nothing. It's a lie. It was us the whole time. We had the whole South. I know it hurts. But now you got to prove to me, if we had the South all the way up till 1830, none of the Indians were removed until 1830. We had the whole South. We had slaves before they even came here in 1600s. That was our lifestyle. It was us working for our families. Prove to me Indians did business with Africa. Prove it. The North didn't have no power to bring 1 million and something slaves from Africa to work in the South. Make that make sense right now. Make it make sense. Prove to me that the North brought in. Let's just get the picture up here first. Prove to me that these colonizers brought in 1 million and something slaves, 12 million, and put them down south. Get your ass out of here. At the time, 1619, what kind of power? They didn't even have no power in the South. Look at when they actually had land in the South. What year is that? Look at the year. Look at the year that the colonizers finally got a piece of land in the South. Look at the year. Could you tell me what year? Isn't this? Tell me the year. Y'all, write down the year on this paper where the British got land in the South. Give me the 2 years.
Looks like it's Virginia.
Yep. Virginia. What other two states?
North Carolina and South Carolina. So that's 1653 and 1663.
And don't forget that in Virginia, they only bought 20 damn slaves. That's the recorded history. And they ain't even come from Africa. Now, you got North Carolina and South Carolina. Roanoke in North Carolina and Charlestown in South Carolina. That's it. You tell me how the northern states are going to bring in 12 million slaves and flop them in the South. Why didn't they flop them in the fucking North? They wasn't dropping those slaves off in no Indian territories in the 1600s. Are you crazy? We wasn't having that shit because it never happened. It makes no sense when you look at it now. So you mean the northern states dropped off 12 million slaves down south, and they was running shit from the north in the 1600s. Get your ass out of here. Prove it. Now it don't make no sense, right? Now 1619 don't make no sense, right? Now it don't make sense.
Yeah, because what you're saying is if they were the ones who brought in all these African slaves, then slavery would have happened in the North and not the South, because they were all living in the North, or most of them.
Bring it, Jabari. You lied. Bam. I told you, don't play with me. And that's not all. I'm only giving you the basics. When you look at it and see the shit for what it really is, actions speak louder than words. Ain't no fucking way. The colonizer, these are the colonizers right here. Ain't no fucking way. They're bringing slaves, 12 million from Africa in 1619. How the fuck you gonna bring slaves from Africa in 1619 and your ass didn't even become states until when? New York, 1626. Virginia being the earliest. Massachusetts, 1630. Oh, well, when did the Massachusetts colonizer bring the 1619 slaves in? Let's go. Come on, y'all, let's go. When did Massachusetts bring in its slaves from Africa? When did Maryland? When did Rhode Island? Look at the date. Way after 1619. Where were your slaves at? Where's the 12 million slaves? Make it make sense, Jabari. The 1619 project. The 1619 project was them. That was the 1619 project, boy. I done told you not to play with me. They were the 1619 project. I'm not playing with y'all fools. Now that that's in and you see how shit went down, we were our own slave masters as chiefs, as tribes, as nations across the South. And that's what when you hear they want to dismantle the Confederate States, they wanted to dismantle our Indian nations. That's what you hear, dismantling the South. It was dismantling of the Indian nations. Now, it's this. What I want to do is take like a little nice water break, and then I'm gonna get into when the judge made a decision for the freedmen, and how you see how he slyly checked shit at the door. So give me a minute. I'm just going to play one song, and so I can take a ladies break. You guys take a breather, because that's a lot to take in and understand, that the whole Civil War was with the fucking Indians in the South. You got to understand that. there were no colonials running the South. All right. Let me take a little break, honey, and I'll be back, okay?
All
Give
right,
me a
I'll be
minute.
waiting.
Give me a minute.
Yeah. Conscious. Matic. Alright, so far where I come from. I sit and wonder about the times that it made sense. But nowadays I don't worry about what's past tense. My younger days I used to hang around with mad friends. If we just fell out, I don't really know what happened. A lot of people come around and keep you stagnant, distraction. So yeah, don't show them no compassion. We was really out here grinding, really rapping, stacking them Franklins, them Grants, and them Jacksons. Imagine if we would've never chased our passion. We probably would've never knew what happened. They was all just talk, we showed action. Once they leave, don't you let them back in. Just pack up all their stuff and send them packing. I'm blacking on anybody thinking they could act up with me. This vibe ain't for free, cause where I'm at in life, I'm only focused on me. Note the self, know yourself, focus on your health. They don't wanna help, then fuck it, do it by yourself. Don't give them no excuse to put you on the shelf. If it's me, myself, and I, then it's no one else. Yeah. Self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Love yourself.
Yeah, practice what you preaching, but clearly they not practicing entitlement and pride. Yeah, those two things they factor in. Spiral out of control just from all the bantering. When they accustomed to talking behind your back with all that chattering. I remove myself before I abuse myself. Talk about self-love, but you gotta do it yourself. Yeah, I won't act too good for no help. We all healing now. Said some things about me that ain't true. How you feeling now? Even at my lowest, they tried to find a way to bring me down. Big y'all up for years, ain't talking just the brand or the sound. I don't throw things around, I do it from the heart proud. Mama just wanna see her sunshine, removing them dark clouds.
Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to probably say they messed up. Just let it go and make the best of it. Yeah, self-love is the best love. It's the people who always give that never get love. They ain't real enough to.
All right, y'all. Y'all ready? Smash that like button, y'all. We gonna keep it moving. I didn't want to make this a real long segment because I really want our people to see that the Civil War consisted of dismantling the lifestyle of the Indian nations in the South, period. Doing away with that lifestyle. The Indians were the predominant ones that owned slaves in the South, being us. The Indians never did business with Africa as it pertains to slave trade. It was our lifestyle, and our people got tired of it. This is why you had people like Fannie Mae Lou, I'm probably not saying her name right. Remember, she ran to the legislator and complained about the voting and her master not wanting to vote and stuff. Remember that? Yeah. We was tired of it. We were tired of living like that. We wanted to change the way our families, our chiefs did things. We wanted change. And we were highly influenced by the North, who predominantly did business with the colonizers. So this is why I always say in the chat room, get off the white man's ass. They was not running the South. It was us, our Indian chiefs. We were slaves to our chiefs. It was us, slaves to our families. We lived a cult-like lifestyle. Did you want to say Anything before I move on, Isness?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I got it. I understand everything that you said. I got it.
Okay. So now I'm going to read this case. It's online. I'm just going to read the article and how the judge checked him at the door in a sly way. If you know law, you know what he did. But let's read this case about the freedmen and the blood and all that shit. Check this out. Now, check this out. This is from 2017 by Patricia Coleman. Some bullshit. Look at these supposed to be Cherokees. Get your fucking laugh on. Get your laugh on. Now, the one sitting down in the middle do have some Negro features. And maybe the one on the far left. Okay, but let's go. In recent weeks, as Americans across the country have engaged in debates about the Civil War period, it's publicly commemorated. A quieter battle over a related question was finally put to rest. On August 30th, 2017, senior United States District Judge Thomas F. Hogan answered an old question for Cherokee freedmen, the descendants of people who were enslaved by members of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, who have been fighting for their tribal citizenship since the early 1980s. Now they're using updated language. In the case of the Cherokee Nation versus Nash, Judge Hogan looked at whether an 1866 treaty, which stated that the people who had been emancipated by the Cherokee would, along with their descendants, have all the rights of native Cherokees, ensured continuing citizenship rights for the people whose ancestors were freedmen, including on the Dawes Rolls, the U.S. government's official list of tribal citizens. Between 1898 and 1914, in the case, the Cherokee Nation had held that their revised constitution, which had expelled the freedmen from the tribe in 1983 on the premise that they were not blood Cherokee, though many of them are of Black Cherokee ancestry, held more legal weight than the 1866 treaty. Let me stop this for a minute and give a fucking bomb drop. I tell you, listen, y'all. Now watch this. Here we go. Now, held more legal weight than the 1866 treaty. However, the judge ruled that the Constitution does not negate the freedmen's treaty rights granted to their forebears at the end of the Civil War. In other words, Cherokee freedmen are Cherokee. I'm not playing with these motherfuckers. we go again. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it. While the case of the Cherokee freedmen has continually made headlines during the past decade, the story of American Indians as enslaved people and slave owners remain a relatively unknown aspect of American history, like I said. And then we move on to slavery was a reality of indigenous life in the Americas prior to the arrival of Africans and Europeans. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? As Christian Snyder explains in her book, Slavery in Indian Country, The Changing Face of Captivity in Early America. Captivity was widespread and it took many forms. But as Snyder explains in tracing the history of Southern Indian captivity to the pre-Columbian era, the advent of European colonialism means that Indians found themselves thrust into a global economy underscored by a racialized system of human trafficking for profit. Slavery was not peculiar to indigenous societies where captives were prisoners of war obtained from enemy tribes, Snyder's notes, but the commodified form that slavery took in the antebellum South and elsewhere in the colonial Americas was new. Now, listen now. Like I said, slavery in Indian country was prior to Europeans and fucking Africans ever even coming over here. It was our lifestyle. When you're fighting and the wars are going on in the South, that was the dismantling of the lifestyle and of the Indian nations that had and occupied those areas. It's over. I'm fucking done. I'm done. Even in the decision that was made, it didn't even make any fucking sense to the judge. Let's go back to it. It didn't even make any fucking sense to the judge. That's why they put that shit in parentheses. They know better. They know better. And they knew better. In the case of the Cherokee Nation, had held that their revised constitution, which had expelled the freedmen from the tribe in 1983. They waited way until fucking 1983 when all they white asses came in and stole the fucking identity on the premise that they were not blood Cherokee.
And
Though
what
many
around what time did we become African Americans? Was that around 1983?
88. Now,
88. Okay.
in the case of the Cherokee Nation, had held that their revised constitution, which had expelled the freedmen from the tribe in 1983 on the premise that they were not blood Cherokee. Now look what they wrote in parentheses, because they ain't fucking stupid. Though many of them are of black Cherokee ancestry, held more legal weight than the 18 fucking 66 treaty. I'm done. I'm done. It's over. It's fucking over. That's why they put that shit in parentheses. And it's going to take somebody like myself to just put that out there. The fact that they're Black Cherokee ancestry. They're Cherokee. Because they are the Indian. And you want to push them out. That's why that parentheses is there. And this, see, that's their case. That ain't shit to do with all the motherfucking Indians that are left here walking around in these hoods to bring the shit to the light and file their own lawsuits to substantiate that shit. Because you know damn well we ain't come from no Africa. And they're telling you that they was fucking slaves before they even the Europeans and Africans, as you said, even fucking came here. So me coming in and anybody else with their lawsuit, they got the fucking balls, which is why you should declare with your representatives. You represent the Indian, not no motherfucking African American. Which is why, see, that's their lawsuit. That's their lawsuit. But the justices had enough fucking sense to keep their truthful identity on federal record. Black Cherokee ancestry is your racial identity according to that federal law. Black, because your skin is brown. Cherokee ancestry in parentheses, because you are Cherokee. They kept your title, but it's gonna take me to come in and file that bitch lawsuit like we doing and substantiate that shit. And the thing about it, do you notice them motherfuckers didn't appeal to prove that these Black Cherokee came in on a motherfucking slave ship? Prove it. That's why these motherfuckers didn't appeal. You know they don't want no smoke to prove who the real Cherokee is.
So our attention has been displaced, right? So we're thinking that our grievance is this transatlantic voyage, but our real grievance is not only has our land been stolen, but our identity has been stolen. That's our grievance.
It's a wrap. I'm done. In parentheses on federal document, Black Cherokee. And they are Cherokee. And it holds more weight than the motherfucking 1866 treaty. That's how real that shit is. That's how real that shit is. You heard it. Did I? I read it from the script. Look, I read from the decision. It holds more weight than the fact that they are Black Cherokee ancestry holds more weight than the 1866 treaty. I wish They had a better fucking lawyer. But that's okay, because they got to uphold the Constitution and the truth. And the truth is that Black Cherokee ancestry holds more weight than the fucking 1866 treaty.
And it also, that article also goes back to what you were saying about the slavery. It says that slavery existed before any European or quote unquote African came to this country, that the Indians practiced slavery. That was their culture. That's how it said. That's how they worked.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. And they didn't do business with Africa. That right there alone tells you they didn't do no business with Africa when it came to slave. It was us already here, our own people.
Because from what I understand, we didn't have like money. We didn't have like little coins and dollar bills, right?
Yeah, we didn't do that. We didn't, babe. We didn't. It's all in the South, all the southern states. We're not even talking about the northern Indians, because they did have slavery. But our southern chiefs sold slaves to the northern. And a lot of them wanted to come here and do servitude contracts and then be done away with it. See, we can't keep letting people control our history. We have to step in and step up. We do. This is why I said, Jabari, dude, we're not going to do that no more. We're not going to keep doing that. No more. It's over. Now, when you can come and debunk that federal decision, then come talk to me, but you can't. It's the supreme law of the land, bro. You're finished. I'm going to open the panel for questions, because I don't want to be on here all day Sunday. But I just wanted to put this out here because it's important. I mean, don't you think this is important? Is this?
I really do. This is really insightful.
Yeah.
This is really insightful. And the biggest insight that I got is, if you believed that there was this whole transatlantic slave story and that these Europeans came over here with their slaves, then the slavery story would have been a northern United States story, not the South.
Correct. Boom.
It would have been, yes. Wow.
See?
Wow.
This is why I said, and I'm keeping it real, boo. This is why I say, we can't keep letting these fools control our life and our stories. We got to take over. It's up to us. We the big mamas. I'm Generation X. And I'll be damned if I'm not going to matriarch my ass off. Me, Holbert, all of us matriarchs. We going to keep this instilled in our children's soul. This is why it's so important to declare your race identity. And there's nothing wrong. And I'm telling you, you have the supreme law of the land that's protecting you right now in that case. It's okay. You don't have to be afraid no more to say that you're Indian. That time is over. The Supreme Court has made its ruling, and that was the ruling. And it's okay to declare who you are. You don't have to hide anymore like our ancestors had to.
We don't have to be scared anymore.
See, everybody's thinking, oh, it's that white guy that's going to hang you and kill you if you say you're Indian. No, it was our chiefs because we backed out from them. And so they wanted to kill us. This is what get the white man, get off the white man's nuts. Because it was our chiefs because we got away from them. We moved away from them. They ain't like that shit. And we was hanging each other. You better not say you Indian. That's how we do each other. You ain't no Indian. You ain't shit. I disown you, you son of a bitch. You say Indian, I'll fucking kill you. That's us doing that to us in the South.
We still do that today.
Whether it was mulatto parents that had more white features or us, we was doing that shit. They was mad when we got away from under them doing other things that we wanted to do in Oklahoma. So what did they do? Worked with the government and burnt our shit down because they lost control of its people. You got to understand what went down. The link is at the top. I would like to hear anybody's comments. I do. I would really like to hear people's comments. So I'm going to play a little song and I'm going to wait for you to come on the panel. The link is pinned to the top. Yeah, where is it? The link is pinned to the top. And I'm going to give you a minute to get up here. If not, I'm just going to go out and just be happy and come with my next bomb drops. But here we go. The link is pinned.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other, heavy teasing all day. And when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turn to morning dew, then you let's face it, baby, you know all the places. My place is your place, my place, your place, my place. Just face it, no one knows my places like you do. Your places like I do. Place like you do. Baby, don't stop. Got the key to the lock. We in our own zone. Make yourself at home. Get to know mine on the inside. Can meet at yours next. And you feel it fresh and lose control. You don't wanna go slow, for sure. We both already know your place is my place. Now my place is your place. Let's face it.
All right, y'all. So What I want to say here is one of the main examples of our people wanting to change things the way we were in control down south as Indians. And you know, Chief Holiday always said that there was a nigger war. He always says that, but he never really got into breaking it down because Chief Holiday gets on and he get himself mad, and then he wind up not telling you the story of why he was saying it's a nigger war. He always said that, and he's literally right. He's literally right. Sam, can you turn your camera on for 1 second so I can just make sure you are not going to come up here and porn bomb me? You got to turn your camera on for like 1 second. If you can't do that, turn it on for 1 second while you're back there where only I can see you, then I can't let you on. But Chief Holiday would always say, man, I keep telling you, it was a nigger war. That Civil War was a nigger war. He's right. But he gets so upset about it that he don't break it down. So today, I broke the shit down. And it was a nigger war. So now, as another factor that we wanted to change, and we went on ahead and assimilated in the corporation, is that we started off getting active in our general assemblies. This is in 1872. This is like right after Reconstruction, 62, 72. And this is even earlier than this. Sam, you got to turn your camera on. I can't see you. Oh, okay. All right. You can turn it off now. You can turn it off. Another interesting thing is we in South Carolina, 1872, we held the majority of our Congress, of our General Assembly, of our legislature. Look at all the colors in 1872. Reconstruction was in 1862. You see that? Indians. These are not Africans that came over here and joined South Carolina's General Assembly. These are Indians. Us. That's us. We who stayed. Predominantly colored in South Carolina. This is in Charleston. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There wasn't even that many white people. Predominantly us, because we wanted to change. And then, of course, they ramshacked us, and we're no longer active. We haven't been this active since 1872. That's a very long time. We got out, start drinking, getting high, drugs, every fucking thing you could think of under the sun as to why our men are no longer active in this. Hey, y'all. Big Dog, K, your device is not connected. K Brown.
Hey, much love and respect, Sister Betty, always. Much love and respect to everybody in the chat. Enjoying the information, Sister Betty. I'm with you 100%. Much love and respect to everybody.
Thank you, Big Dog. Kay, you might have to go go out and come back in because your device is not connected. What say you, Isness?
And real quick, Sister Betty, I've been saying the same thing. My family been owning the same acreage of land in Georgia, for forever. So my story ain't never changing. My people from here, Georgia.
Facts. Hey, Kay, what's up?
You can hear me?
Yep.
Oh, no, it's the same. I just changed my name. It's the same, Sam. I just under a different profile.
Okay. What's good?
No, I'm trying to figure out what this app is. I have to. I'm in a browser. Do I have to use the app, StreamYard?
You're on the panel. You're on the panel talking to us now. You're already up here, so don't do anything. Just talk.
Okay. Oh, what's this separate panel about? What is? Is this
You
about the
didn't watch?
last live you did?
No, it's about the one I'm on currently today. Did you watch it? Okay. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. But something's wrong with his device. So, we killed it today, y'all. We killed it. After we got from under the hands of our ancestors, after we got from under their hands, then after we got from under the hands of our ancestors, the Indian chiefs of our Indian nations that were all across the South, they started a new life for us. And that's when you saw the huge flux of farm owners in the South. That's the style that they gave us. They started off and said, we'll let the Indians be farmers. And that's where that came from. It's all in the news. It's all in the newspaper. I already showed you that. The Indians became like individual family farm owners. Some of them even rented out land because it was a horrible separation from us and our Indian ancestors. It was ugly. Ugly. So we restarted a new life in the South and we became the brown farmers. What do you want?
I wanted to first, good afternoon on this chilly Sunday where I'm at. I wanted to touch on the land owning part. I had posted a link in your back chat that I heard Big Dog say that his family owned land in Georgia, and I don't know if you guys know that, like, during the Civil War and after, a lot of the landowners, these would be like white people. A lot of them, how a lot of our family, gained land was because a lot of those white land, like, cotton, owners or people that was running those plantations, they were leaving during like the war and after. They didn't know what to do with the slaves. They were scared, and that's how a lot of our family just
What's
inherited.
gonna happen here, buddy? After what I just showed you, Shay, son, because I knew you was coming.
I didn't see what you showed. I caught the part of Big Dog Philly saying that his family owned land. I just wanted to touch on that part.
Okay, here's what
I'm not denying whatever you showed. I was just giving another perspective too.
Yeah,
that's all.
I think that you're probably going to change your mind. So what you're going to have to do is going to go watch the segment again because I just killed the slave story point blank using federal sources and Supreme Court decisions. So you're gonna have to go back and watch the segment with the Supreme Court decision. I just killed the slavery thing. All right.
As far as it being no slaves, that's what you're saying?
Go watch the segment and I think you'll have a nice enlightenment. And this is nothing that you, Jabari, or anybody can fuck with. One thing you can't fuck with is federal law from the Supreme Court justices. These are the Supreme Court justices.
Can I get a year on that, Sister Bethy? So I could.
Oh, it's all in the segment, and you'll be able to grab it.
Cool.
You'll be able to grab all of it. So go sit back and watch it, the segment again, because it would make no sense for me. I'm not going to debate you.
No, I wasn't trying to debate. I was just trying to give another reason why a lot of our family members got land. The Civil War was a big part of that.
No, I think you're going to think a little differently. After the Civil War was over, there was a whole reconstruction on how they were going to accommodate these Indians that stayed and did not go to Oklahoma.
No, so I'm cool. I'm agreeing with that. I don't have a problem with that. So, I'm not disagreeing.
So what I'm gonna ask is just you watch the segment. I'm actually gonna end our conversation right here until you watch the segment, and then you can come back and talk to me. Because I'm just like so done. I'm so done for the day. I really thought there were people gonna come up here and have questions on what I just shared and what Isthmus and I just dialogued about. So you haven't watched the show, so I can't even smoke with you right now until you watch.
I wasn't coming up for smoke, Sister Bethy.
So I really want you to watch it. Sit back and watch it.
I am. I'm definitely gonna watch it.
All right. But if anybody in the audience don't have any questions or anything, Isthmus, I'm gonna get up out of here so that this segment is not long and overwhelming to watch, because it is going to be 2.5 hours long. Anybody have any questions? Jump on the panel. The link is pinned to the top. If not, I'm getting up out of here and go and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. Closing statements, is this? Anything
I just
want to say?
I want to thank you for this. This has been very enlightening. And our family properties have been way before, and I'm sure Big Philly OG can say, before the Civil War, we've had these properties. So this is really good. And just the common sense that you brought into the whole picture was just enlightening. So I thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's always an extra honor to have you on. I'm not using you. It's just that your voice is so pleasant and your spirit is so warm and comforting, and you're an excellent articulator when I'm like pooped, because I like to show the visuals and get people to see what I'm talking about, because when they see it, they can understand it better. And I think that your spirit is just so warm. And you're just a ball of joy.
Oh, thank you, Sister Bethy. It's such an honor. Thank you.
Yeah. So I want Philly Dog, you got any closing? Because I'm gonna get up out of here.
Much love to you and the family always, Sister Bethy, the Sister Isthmus, everybody in the chat. Y'all enjoy y'all day. Much love from OG.
Same to y'all.
You too. Enjoy your day too. Goodbye.
Honor everybody. I'm out of here. Love y'all.
Then they put you on trial. I was just a young child. Gave you 25 to life, all these years gone by. And you never asked why. All you did was pray to God, all you did was wait your time. Now you about to come home, and I'm about to have a child. It's gonna be worthwhile. It's gonna be worthwhile. Remember nights I cried, now we at the finish line. You was only 21 with a son on the run, no. You was living in the jungle. Got charged for a murder and some weed and a gun, no. You was moving like Rumbo. Did your time like a champ, never rumble. You was on the wrong path, you was young though. You ain't never let it break you, stay humble. We see the light at the end of the tunnel. I see the fire and the pain in my mama's eyes. I was just a little boy, I always wondered why. Cause you couldn't help raise me by her side. I was taught to speak the truth and never tell a lie. But I know you wasn't capable of homicide. You was just a real nigga, always down down the ride. I thank God that he gave you a second time. You got caught up in the field, but you still alive. For the fam, yeah, I know you never jeopardize. All the time that you did it only made you wise. Collect call 30 seconds, yeah, I love you. Learned a lot of life lessons from my uncles. This a letter to my pops up top, and it's still fuck cops. I don't eat pork chops, no. So we got the city on lock, it's going down, young jock, yeah. Then they put you on trial. I was just a young child. Gave you 25 to life, all these years gone by, and you never asked why. All you did was pray to God, all you did was waste your time. Now you about to come home, and I'm about to have a child. It's gonna be worthwhile, it's gonna be worthwhile. Remember nights I cried, now we at the finish line. All these trials, tribulations, all these trials, situations, trials we be facing, times we was waiting. Now we at the finish line. Now we at the finish line.
Damn near fell, got the call on my cell that my pops got robbed and he got shot up. I was working at SP, that was in KP. I was focused on making me $1. His business got lost, his life almost cost. I was in the parking lot thinking about my grandma. He got sent home back to Trinity, had to make a way up, and some youngins tried to take it off from him. I remember days right before I graduated, had to go to Jersey. It was visits in the state pen. On the other side of the glass, yeah, things moving fast at the time. Now I really couldn't face it. I ain't understand till my mom sat me down like a man, and that day, yeah, it changed me forever. I wanted revenge, but I'ma get it when I make it out. And I put them in that Miami weather. Convos on the WhatsApp got me moving real tight, cause you never turn your back even when it got spooky. Know for a fact you ain't cut me no slack. You would rewind time, yeah, like it was a movie. But it's real life and we gotta look ahead. Glad you alive, I don't gotta say you dead. Only the strong survive, it's a reason you here. Cheers to the next couple years, yeah.
Then they put you on trial. I was just a young child. Gave you 25 to life, all these years gone by, and you never asked why. All you did was pray to God, all you did was waste your time. Now you about to come home, and I'm about to